And we're on to the next month. So this is for the cards that I pulled back in February for 2025. This is for the month of August. So we're whizzing through them. So we have the Fire Dragon, the Stag, and the Air and Water Dragon. So let's do a little overview. So we've got co-create with the universe, pride and leadership in this, and the helps you to connect to the higher frequencies of the month of August. So trusting your intuition, developing your psychic ability, so ongoing since February. We're like practicing it in February all the way through the year, as I said. Being open to enlightenment and expressing your inner song. So I'm going to read you what it says for each of these cards, and obviously give you my take as well. The Fire Dragon we will start with. I have pulled up the page to save some time. One of the 10 spiritual pillars, the Fire Dragon, brings blessings of joy and abundance in material and spiritual matters. Generous yang fire is the heavenly frequency over the dragons, commanding... Oh, what are you doing? The cat is... where was I? Sorry. Dragon commanding yang earth element produces a continuous cycle of support from heaven and earth. So I'm just going to reread that because in material and spiritual matters, generous yang fire in the heavenly frequencies over the dragons commanding yang earth elements produces a continuous cycle of support from heaven and earth. So I read that as the solar radiation that's enlightening our cells, that's evolving each of our cells, and these tiny little crystals, which science will, I'm sure, whenever, or they might already have, will realise that that's what's happening with these leaps of consciousness. It affects these crystals that we have in the brain. So that's that heavenly light and fire affecting the earthly yang. The dragon, one of the 4 celestial guardians, is the Chinese metaphysics, is a popular symbol of good luck, protection, prosperity and authority. It's our version, it's the version of sovereignty and vitality in Feng Shui. The dragon mythological powers which straddle the earthly and heavenly realms represent the qualities of the divine masculine when yang is in balance and not in excess. So this is the masculine presence in our world when it's at its best, when it's in its divine masculine as opposed to the toxic masculine. Yang is in balance and not in excess. So we don't want too much excess. For example, if you have too much, when you're working with the Jinn creation energy, it affects your life force in negative ways. The card is a confirmation that you found your wings. So this is for, when I put the in question for the 3 cards, this is for humanity. So we're starting to fly. You feel like part of the universe, flying above and below, exploring your dreams and diving deep into the mysteries, all while at the same time actively serving and calling and fulfilling your responsibilities. Excuse me, I think maybe that the burner's a little bit too much. Her responsibilities: trust, and 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. So trust that divine will continue to guide you in August towards the path of abundance. Miracles happen when we continually collaborate. So collaborations of the light, the yin, the yang, with the forces of heaven and earth, combining prayers, visualization and spiritual work with perseverance and grounding strategic actions. And I'm hearing in the background, this is kind of like galactic forces coming together, coming out. There's going to be some opening up of things, disclosures during August. Really, that's interesting that come through. I don't know what that's about, or things will be much more apparent to those that aren't necessarily following this story or aware of it. I know you want treats. I've got to get some in the shopping. I've got the cat keeps going. The invisible forces of chi is with you when the fire dragon appears. Integrate your chi in August, your life force into your purpose, starting because so that's the beginning of the year in August with the Atlantean calendar, and the Egyptian calendar. Yes, I love you. I know. You want me to do this? Here we go. I'm trying to multitask, shall I? Let's multitask fire. Various other energies, healing practices where you direct the energy with the hands or where you place your hands is where healing takes place. Intention is what transforms the freely available universal energy into healing energy. In the material world, intention directs one energy in turning our dreams into reality. So set your intentions and focus and manifest your great time during August. The message here is keep stoking the inner fire, path of joy. One of my favourite quotes is that by Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss, follow your joys, ignore the cat in the background, he's going to start, I can tell. He's determined. We can't let him out at the moment because the catio needs fixing, so he's just like, I'm going to take him for a walk on his lead later. So keep stoking that fire, celebrating that joy. So following your bliss is what I was saying, doing the things you love, basically. The dragon can see above and beyond, honour all of the forces of the universe, and including the hidden and intangible. So I'm very familiar with this sign because I'm a dragon. Not meaning like, oh, I'm horrible, but that's my star symbol. So it's feeling and connecting and understanding this fire to connect with the earth, our Kundalini energy, as well as the astrological or astro realm, if you like, for want of a better word. So the stag was the other one, and I'll do all of that, and then I'll do my version, my views. Oi, monkey! Sorry, hang on. Okay, she says. When the stag appears on your path, he tells you to take pride in all that you do. Be there, leader, and hold your head high, and others will follow by your example. Ask yourself these questions. Take a breath. Actually, do it with me. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again. And then deep breath in. Am I following my highest path? You might want to pause the video and just listen and sit with it maybe. Or you can just make a note and do this in your own meditative time. We do a little meditation at the end with these. Am I acting in integrity and doing the best I can? Am I held back by the kind of pride that cuts me off from life through arrogance or its reverse, low self-esteem? The stag asks you to be the leader. Be proactive with the highest intentions. Now, as leaders, we are held to a higher integrity, or I certainly believe that we should be held to a higher integrity. We should be leading by example, and I think this is what this is about, that when you hold space, that you have to be above. It doesn't mean that we're not human, but it means that we have to still hold ourselves to higher ideals rather than hiding who we truly are. That's still being honest with us, and that's a fine line. Most people allow their ego or self-esteem to be part of that journey, when it's in reverse, or they become arrogant. You don't want to be either. To walk that line of leadership is actually, it's not an easy necessarily thing to do. People, I think, can get caught up, can spiritually bypass, can not realise that they're not in integrity through no fault of their own, through becoming judgmental, for example. So you need to constantly be reminding yourself to be the voice of the divine in place of leadership. And the stag asks you to be the leader, be proactive with the highest intentions, and to always ask, what is the highest good for all? Which is, when I pull the cards, that's the first, for the highest good of art. If you listen to any of my meditations, when we're pulling down the light for the highest good of art, so when I'm channeling, that's what I'm channeling, the highest of any souls or anything that I'm working with in a sense. That's what I set. I'm not perfect. If I'm tired, I might not possibly speak all that there is coming through, and it may like seep through later and I'll share it in another video, but to always have that highest intention. The stag leads you out of both difficult times and places into a kind of pride that reminds you that you're always in service to God, Goddess. In every step you take, you may already be there, in which case you should be proud and happy. Look how far, don't let Gizzy out, you've come. Rejoice, for the stag always leads you to the highest place with sure and steady. So it's that image of the stag up on, sorry, hang on. Sorry. So the image of the stag on the mountain, sorry for the image of the stag on the mountain, sorry for the interruptions. At least it keeps pausing. So I'm just going to continue with the next one, and then I'll give you my views on all of that. But I think I've added some of them. So air, water dragon. So we've got two dragons here. We've got fire and water. Okay. Air and water helps you to connect to higher frequencies. Trust your intuition, develop your psychic abilities, be open to enlightenment this month and expressing the inner song. So the channeling is going to be very prominent for lots of people. Fourth dimensional blue and green air and water dragons pour light into the third eye, literally. So third eye for this month, and crystals will be being not challenged, but the opposite, will be supportive for this month to assist our psychic and spiritual development. They help to dissolve our vows of illusion and enable us to see from higher perspectives. So remember, I said there's going to be lots of disclosure. People will be seeing beyond the vows, because the vows disappeared basically. Now there is no vow as we merge into high, as the planet. It's not so much that we're rising, the planet is rising, so we have to rise. That everybody is becoming the best version of themselves slowly. Others on different times, everything in divine timing, but everyone will get there eventually. It's just some of us might be there already, some of us have got a long way to go, but this would be one of those points where we're seeing more crystal clarity. But remember, one of the things that I always think when I was doing these readings and asking, whenever there's more light, you'll see the beauty and focus on the beauty, because sometimes that means there's a sharper shadow. So they help you to dissolve the walls of illusion and enable us to see from the higher perspective. So it's taking things, like we were saying about leadership, in how we express and taking and stepping forward in that sovereignty is very much connected to this month of August. You might see, this is collected, how leadership is evolved with those that are in leadership. So political forums this month happening, and whether they're integral to their word, but also evolving how they do things so they can be integral to their word. being and going beyond that, because some of those leaders are there to see, to show you where things aren't working, and that isn't leadership. That the leadership lies within us stepping into our power, not deferring that power to another thing or to another person. At the same time, they bring us inspiration and higher aspirations. They remind us to trust our intuition, even when logic demands another course of action. Add air to water, and you create bubbles. And I'm seeing bubbles of light everywhere, just exploding bubbles of love bombs going off around the world. And sparkling water, air and water dragon brings lightness and something special into our life. So August is going to be a special time for lots of you that view this. When they, solar and shimmer around us, they soar and shimmer around us a sense of happiness and hope and light. It lights us up. So something really nice is going to happen, related to leadership, related to sovereign, and they enable us to connect with our inner song and start to express it. Again, there's this sort of letting expression through sound and frequency is going to allow that. I certainly relate to that as someone that does that with their life. But this isn't for me, this is for all of us, this is you. So this is how we speak our truth, through honesty, through compassion. And it's not cutting someone, oh, you do that. It's more temperance with how we express our emotions. We've spent from February to August learning how to evolve and how to speak to each other from an integral, from a heart, compassion led. And now we're kind of, by August, that's happening. And that's all levels, not just our relationships, interactions with partners, friends and family, etc., but governments too, like right across the board. So it's a really good thing. Choosing this card can tell you to use your intuition. So listen to what your feelings when I've just jumped ahead. Call on your blue and green, air and water dragons. And I'm seeing blue and green crystals being appropriate here. Blue because it helps with speech when you make conversations. Visualize it coming out in this beautiful sky kind of blue. Green, feeling grounded and very earthed, so the emotions, the fiery dragon energy doesn't kick up. Because we've got Aries going on that month, haven't we? Because it's August. No, that's April. It'll be Leo, was the Leo courage and people stepping into that, wanting to lead. So it needs to be tempered with, for the truth, but with love and compassion in the way that we do it. So entering the third eye and awakening and activating your higher fifth dimensional abilities. Most of us are already there. This is the rest of the world. This will bring you crystal clear clarity and new vision, and awareness of life. There's going to be, the visionaries are taking their space. They're taking their, they're doing what they were here, have come here to do, stepping into their purpose. The third eye is very sensitive and psychic centers. So those that talk about being empathic, you're going to have that want to maybe put filters in place so that you are knowing your emotions, knowing others' emotions, not confusing the two. I think though, from those that have done the groundwork from February to August, by then we'll know. Where our fifth dimension in the air and the water dragon, clarity and protection is protect it and enhancing your ability to use it for the highest good. So instead, you can feel what someone is and you can utilize it to its good in how you sense when someone's feeling low, and you can kind of stand in your frequency and allow it to kind of filter over them, like that Fossey, like we're saying about the bubbles, allowing those love bombs to go out for the light anchors out there. They then enter you to connect to Neptune, that Neptunian energy. There's going to be astrology, Neptune going on, I believe, if I'm seeing this here. But also this is linked to the depths of the subconscious, and how the subconscious of the humanity and things that are coming out. Yes, I know. The planet of the higher spirituality is open to new enlightenment and understanding on all levels. I think that's also links in with technology for this month of August. Choosing this card calls to use your intuition as well as your spiritual knowledge and wisdom to see everything from an illuminated perspective. That refers to technology. Air and water, dragon with the surrounding you, enabling life to flow. They will attune you to so that you can voice and express the true notes of the soul. Frequency wise, aligned with the heart, perfect harmony and expression. So this all sounds really good for August. So what am I picking up here? So the sun is going to be key. There are lots of solar activity, and our thinking. It's going to affect our consciousness. It's going to affect the thoughts that we interpret and how we interpret them. How we see that consciousness is going to start to evolve even more collectively. I know, Mr. Moisey. And start to truly co-create that Kundalini energy, figure of 8 energy, dragon energy on the physical, utilising that. And obviously around August, we're working with fire. It's the we're in the season of fire. We'll work with that in class. The stag, and obviously this is the mountain. Again, relevant to important affairs, seeing beyond the clouds, seeing beyond the thoughts and feelings that are coming up, seeing beyond the ego, and aligning that true sovereignty, grounding in that high frequency for this month. The air and the water dragon, I'm seeing he's leaping into the air, creating circles. There's fish here. This is financial systems as well, money and flow, and how we see money is going to evolve. It's for the better, so helping us connecting. It'll be of a higher frequency. I think I've heard people talk about this before. I don't know what your thoughts are feeling on this. This is my personal thing. I've heard people say about the frequency and the energy of money can be quite low in its frequency and it was tampered with. I see it evolving differently, that the monetary systems, the leadership systems are already evolving. There's a fifth dimensional thing happening with that. But finance is looking good for August. It's starting to fly, to take off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Possibly one big thing that most people will be into, but another 1, 2, 3, 4 different options or financial sort of systems that people can get involved with that are starting to really take root and to fly in August. So that's a good sign. But still staying grounded, not letting, I was going to say, don't let, take responsibility if you're in a position of leadership, to be integral. Anything else? 8, the symbol of 8, obviously the month is 8. It's 8 months plus a, which year, what number would that be? Or I'll do that on the I'll do it in the written report and I can look that up, so I don't know that off my heart, the numerology. Dragons in the sky. Is there a comment due in August? Is what I'm just hearing in my head. Comment to consciousness. Dragons in the sky. You know. Oh, I know. I'm going to leave it at that because I think they all want my attention. Probably all hungry. Depth of the oceans and the subconscious, mountain, as I say. So relevant documentation again, and laws being struck, leadership being on the forefront, political news being important in August, but looks like there's some good things. See it from the higher perspective. whatever it is, because I don't know, obviously we're not in August when I'm recording this, but that's what it said for the cards that we pull. And then I'll link this, or I'll later on I'll put a link to the text reading for you for members. Obviously if you're viewing this and you've done it separate and you're not a member, then thank you for your time, love and blessings, and I will see you for the next recording, which will be September.